All right, wanted to do a quick little update video here on gold. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the gold futures. That's what I've got up on the screen. This is going to be GC, and then I will also be looking at GLD, and that is an ETF based on the price of gold. So just starting, I have a few trend lines. And resistance lines put in place. And we have continued since about mid-August. We've continued this stretch to the downside. We are now roughly 100 points off the high that we set back here at the beginning of September. And you know, for me at the moment, this is more of a kind of sit and wait to see where we break. But while we sit and wait, we can kind of gauge which way we are going to see this thing swing. So the next current levels that I'm looking at here is right around this 1480 mark. And I think that this is really important because we saw a quick pop through it down into the 1460s, and that was back in late September. And then we saw it bounce off of it and kind of hold up the 1480 mark for a while until we finally broke down through it. You can see we bounced just ever so briefly, only up about 10-15 points, and then we sold down through it. And we have kind of just, we have this nice little soft bounce right here that doesn't look as if it's taking us, for now, it doesn't look as if it's taking us to 1480, but I would not be surprised if it did. So that's what I'm going to keep my eye on. Do we have enough momentum to start seeing this push towards 1480? And if we do push towards 1480, my initial thought, just based off of the fact that we bounced, we held above, and then we broke down through pretty quickly, even after we tried to bounce above it. I think we are going to have a lot of sellers right around this 1480 mark. So as we approach it, I would expect the price to be driven down and down. And most likely continue to the downside. Either we stop at 1480 and start swinging lower, or if we break through it, maybe on a quick pop, then we go lower, or we come and we tap this upper trend line. Say we get up around that $1,500 level or the high 1490s, and then we fail and we start coming down. And the target price level that I have to see us hit as a nice solid support where we might see some buyers step in is right around this 1430 mark. That's going to be the first point of support, and it's more of a support window, and I would say anywhere from 1400 to 1430 is going to be this nice support window where we might see a lot of buyers step in, and we might, let's say the price comes up and then we start fading back down, and we just kind of slowly meander down as we have been over the course of the past couple of months. As we start to get into this area from 1400 to 1430, I would like to see at that point some consolidation. We may peak below 1400, but some consolidation in this area before seeing a nice little push higher. And, for me, I think that's going to be into next year when we start to see that kind of play out. So for the time being, I think for the remainder of 2019, and things can always change. We have a solid month and a half, but based off of just what I'm looking at here and how we've trended over the past 2 months, if there isn't some sort of big fourth quarter meltdown in overall market and we start to see inflation rise, I don't necessarily see a lot of people flocking to gold just based on these technicals right here. That's not to say that we could potentially have some sort of political breakdown, or even if we do have a political victory with these trade wars, but then people start to see the actual holes in the market and realize that that was just kind of a cover-up for the real issues that we have, then we might start to see this swing back up as we start to close out the year. But that is just my viewpoint. I'm going to go ahead and swing it on over to GLD. Again, off of its highs by roughly about $8 here. And it's the same story with GLD as it is with the gold futures. You can see the charts look fairly similar, and I've got this resistance in here around 139.75, 139.60 is about the mark. I've got another resistance line in here right around that 142.50 mark, which if you saw one of my other gold videos in the past, that was a pretty strong resistance, and that's what we were watching for as we if we could break through that, that would have been a nice sign that we're going to continue higher, but we failed that level, and we subsequently came down. We broke through 139.70, we'll call it, and now we've started to bounce back up, but the question is, are we going to hold this? Just like on the gold futures, are we going to hold this? Are we going to push through this big resistance level? And if we do, will we break through this downward trend? Will we break through this channel that we're sitting in now? Or will we fail it, break back down, and the target price here would be right around that 134.75 mark is what I would be looking for. And we'll call that anywhere from, say, 134.75, and then we'll mark it down here in the the low 132s. Now, again, these are not concrete levels. These are just levels that I will be looking at. So this being my support range right in here from the low 132s to the mid 134s, and my resistance being up here from say 139.70 to 142.50 is what my resistance would be. And you can see we're kind of right in the middle. So I'd like to see if we can push up and see what kind of reaction we have as we hit these levels, and if we start to see it fade back down as we roll into the new year. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and maybe you are seeing something that you hadn't seen before on the gold chart, and if there's something that you see that I don't see, or something that you want to point out, feel free to do so. I am always looking at new ideas and new ways to look at the chart, to just kind of understand what how other people are perceiving these charts and the overall gold market. So thank you guys for watching.